Joining me now is the president of the Harlem Children's Zone, Geoffrey Canada. Geoffrey, welcome to Meet the Press Daily. It's great to have you. Let's start with these reopenings broadly. In New York, Governor Cuomo gave the green light for districts to reopen if they want to. Do you think that was the right call?
I think it was the right call for this reason. The infection rate in New York is really low, one of the lowest in the country. So that gives us an opportunity to do this right. But having said that, Casey, I really think we have to follow the science. What does the science say? Kids must wear masks. We must make sure there's social distancing. We've got to think about who are the ones who are more than likely to spread the infection, and we know that's older kids. So we've got to plan in a safe, smart way, because if we just open this thing up the way they're doing in Georgia and other places, we know that we're going to end up having to close these schools again. We should take our time. We should do it right. But here's an issue. In communities that were devastated in New York City by COVID, and we know where those communities were in Queens, in Brooklyn, in the Bronx, in Manhattan, we need to make sure there's a real testing program so that those people who are the most vulnerable, those families and those children, we don't allow asymptomatic spread to happen in those communities. So maybe we can't test all 1 million students in New York City, but we certainly should test the most vulnerable students and families to make sure we don't allow COVID to begin to spread in our communities again.
Mr. Canada, I just want to warn you and also our viewers, we've gotten a 2-minute warning from the White House. We're watching to see if the president's going to come out to the podium. But until he does, I want to make sure we continue this very important conversation. And to pick up on what you said about inequality, this whole crisis really has underscored the options that wealthy parents have that lower income families don't have when it comes to options for educating their children. What is our responsibility to the parents and the students who don't have the ability or the money to hire a private tutor or have their private school classes outside on a lawn under a tent? What should we be doing to help these schools with these testing programs, these social distancing things at this point in time?
Well, let me start, Casey, with what keeps me up at night. We know we're not going to be able to have all the students in the schools, maybe half the school students at a time. But what happens to the parents who have to work? We haven't thought about childcare. We want to open up our schools. We want our families to go back to work, our parents to go back to work. But you can't go back to work if you've got a 4th grader and a 7th grader. Both are home at different times during the week because we can't have all the schools in session every day. We did not think this through. And guess who's going to get hurt the worst? It's not going to be people who can work from home. It's going to be the poorest, mostly the people of color or the essential workers in this city and around this country. They're going to get it on the chin again because we just haven't been smart about making sure we can protect our most vulnerable students. That's not even to get into the issue of devices and connectivity and other things when we know students are going to have to do part of their learning at home, and we're still not taking this issue seriously. And the poor are going to be hurt the worst again.
You've done so much thinking and innovating in the education space over the years. How do you think coronavirus is going to permanently change our education system?
Well, one of the things that I think is going to happen is that we're going to recognize that there are some essential tools that all children have to have. And we find this in rural places and in poor communities. The idea that they have no internet connection, they don't have devices. Devices and internet connection are the same as school books these days. You can't have some schools that have school books and some schools that don't. We're going to have to equalize this issue. This is a basic issue, Brown versus Board of Education all over again. We cannot have these separate and unequal school systems around this country. So that's one of the issues I think we have to deal with right now, because we're going to sow the seeds of the next generation's inequality by our students who are poor not being able to get online to continue their education during this time of the COVID pandemic.
Hello, YouTubers. If you're watching this, it means you've checked out our channel, so thank you. Now do me a favor, subscribe by clicking on that button down there. Click on any of the videos to watch the latest interviews and highlights from MTP Daily and MSNBC. You can get more Meet the Press content every morning in the First Read newsletter. If you're tired of content that you don't know anything about where it came from, you don't have to have that problem with us. NBC News, MSNBC, MTP, and the Meet the Press mindset right here for you on YouTube. Subscribe now.